Hi everyone, Uncle Raymond here and welcome to a new video. When I was a young boy, my dream was to become a pilot. At the age of 15, I joined the Singapore Youth Flying Club, took aero modeling and flying lessons, and was even slated to fly with an instructor before my parents refused to sign the consent. So, all the 50-year-old recycled teenager in me can do now is play with RC planes. To be honest, even back when I first started this RC hobby when I was much younger, I've always felt that RC planes are super complicated, expensive, and the radios just seem so intimidating. Imagine my excitement about a year ago after rekindling my RC hobby when I found the existence of smaller, more affordable, and easier to fly RC planes. Or so I thought. As usual, after some research, I set up for a tiny warbird, a Spitfire from Volantex RC. I mean, this thing is small, about 30 cm wing length and a wingspan of around 40 cm. The reason why I bought this is because it is cheap, around 90 Singapore dollars. It is a ready-to-fly version with a 4-channel transmitter, and I was also lucky enough to get extra props and batteries from the seller. This plane is made from reasonably dense foam and is very durable. The prop pops off when you crash and can be quickly snapped back on. Due to its size though, don't expect too much detailing, but overall it is acceptable. There are also snap-on wheels and it can actually take off from a relatively smooth surface in a short distance. Some of the other key features of this plane that make it so attractive for beginners are the 6-axis stabilization gyro, 1 key acrobatics, and 1 key U-turn. So how was Uncle Raymond's first experience with flying this tiny RC warbird? Actually, it nearly ended in disaster. Yes, I could hand launch the plane, fly around a small park, and even manage to take off from the tarmac. At last, due to my inexperience with RC planes, I crashed this Spitfire into a tree and it got stuck, prompting some frantic attempts to get it down by throwing all sorts of stuff at it before finally getting it down from the tree. After some more practices and crashes, I was convinced that this was the right plane for me to get into flying RC planes. It is super durable. I mean, really surprisingly durable. There was a funny incident when I tried flying at an open space next to an empty car park. Well, it didn't take long for me to stick it into another tree. The only difference this time was, the tree was much taller. Nothing I threw at it could move the lodged plane. Eventually, I tied a bottle to a rope, slinged it over one of the nearby branches, swung on the rope like Tarzan, and after a whole body of perspiration and some bruised fingers, I finally retrieved the plane. By the way, the plane was lodged in the tree for 2 days, with the tiny 1S LiPo battery still connected. It even rained heavily on the first day. So after retrieving the plane, I was doubtful that it would ever work again. To my surprise, it is still working perfectly fine, apart from a few scratches and a bruised ego of a wannabe pilot. After these painful lessons, I flew only at bigger areas. Now back to the plane. The 6-axis gyro has 3 modes: beginner, intermediate, and expert. In beginner's mode, the pitch, yaw, and roll are all limited, allowing the plane to maintain a stable flight. The intermediate mode will allow greater angles, whereas the expert mode switches off the gyro. Somehow, when I tried the expert mode, the plane just climbs rapidly and behaves erratically. I will need to investigate further soon why this is happening. Otherwise, using the 1 key acrobatics button is also quite fun. You just have to press the button and follow through with ailerons or elevator controls for it to roll or loop. Simple and fun initially, but after a while, using this button just doesn't cut it if you really want to fly manually. So what did Uncle Raymond do? He bought a bigger plane. Watch out for this story in the future video. I think I've said enough and it won't come as a surprise for you when I say I would wholeheartedly recommend this for anyone hoping to try flying RC planes. In fact, when I handed this Volantex Spitfire to a friend who has never flown an RC plane before, he was able to immediately fly it around for a short while. And so far, the only thing I broke on this plane is the battery hatch, but that can be easily glued or taped back before flying it again. What are you waiting for then? Get the plane from one of the links down below in the video description, and let's all have some fun flying RC planes. Last but not least, thank you everyone for watching this video, and Uncle Raymond will see you in the next video.